only got $580 some odd dollars a month because all of the money that she paid in is going to pay for somebody else instead of her when she earned it. She paid in, she did all this, she earned it and was getting crumbs, while the person who never paid anything was getting more than double what she was getting and then some. That's what bothers me about illegal immigration. There's another aspect to it. I wouldn't even say most of them, but if, say, 7% of the people who come over illegally are violent criminals, are willing to commit rape, murder, hell, even hit and run, because they don't want to get deported or, whatever, because they don't want to get deported. That is very, very bad thing. That's still hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people over several decades that are willing to be violent or are violent, that there's no prevention. There's no way to prevent it. Some sort of barrier, giving checkpoints that people can go through to request asylum if they feel they deserve it, and stuff like that. I don't have a problem with people immigrating. What I have a problem with is so many hundreds and thousands of people. There's no vetting process. There's no checks and balances. There's none of that. And it's just not good for our economy. I don't care about the job thing. Okay, these illegal immigrants are willing to work jobs that nobody else is willing to work. If you're hardworking and benefiting society, I'm more than happy with you being here. It doesn't bother me for you to be here. What bothers me is that there's no way to check and make sure that the people coming over are those types of people. You're still getting the people that are coming over. Yes, they may want a better life for themselves, but they have no regard for law. They have no regard for other people. Some of them, oh my God, they hate Americans. Yet they want to live here because our lifestyle is better. There's a handful of people I've known throughout the years that would come over here, spend 10 years making money, sending every penny of it back home, and which is taking money from our economy and sending it elsewhere to better the lives of their family and this, that, and the other. And then they move back because they don't want to be here. They don't want to be here at all. They came over illegally, so they didn't have to go through the process. They didn't have to spend that money and work, make a lot of money, go home and live like kings for a while. I'm like, wow, really? I get it. They lived in a third world country and it didn't take a lot of money to make them feel like kings, make them feel rich. But they had no intentions of being citizens. They didn't want to come over and be a part of our society. They kept to themselves, did their job, sent all their money back, and then eventually decided to leave. What's bad is turning themselves over to immigration, and immigration paid their plane ticket home. That is just taking and taking and taking and taking, and that's a selfish mentality. Yes, I believe in the American dream. You have the right to bust your ass and work hard to better your life, but that doesn't do any good for the people here. That doesn't help our society at all. It benefits them, their family, and their country, which they didn't want to leave in the first place. They did it to better themselves from where they're at. What's wrong with making people go through a checkpoint? Seriously. I get it. It would cost taxpayers money to build this wall. But what's wrong with making people go through a checkpoint? You're willing to do it. Are you going to jump a fence and swim across a river to get into Mexico to go check out Cancun and whatnot? No. You'll follow the law and you'll go through a border. You'll go check out Cancun, vacation there for a while, and then come back. There's nothing wrong with that. But you see something wrong with preventing people from coming over here illegal. I mean, if you did the same thing that they're doing and were found in Mexico, man, your ass would be locked up, treated very, very poorly, because not only are you not Mexican, but you're American. You would be treated terribly. And maybe if you're lucky, you would be sent back. Not that anyone really wants to live down there, but still, that's the way it is. Why is it wrong when Americans want to prevent that from happening? Prevent us from having to put people in jail for being here illegally. Children especially. I mean, no, I don't think kids and parents should be... I don't think kids should be jailed. No. They're children. They don't have the legal right to make choices. Our own children don't. So should they be punished for the choices of their parents? No, but their parents should. I get it. The children get put into housing facilities, which, by the way, was instated. The laws about that were instated back in 2000. Wait, was it even in the 2000s? No, it was 98, not 2008. 98. And nobody bitched about it while Bush was in office. Nobody bitched about it while Obama was in office. Now that they're looking for things to bitch about that people may actually get behind and want to piss people off at Trump, they're bringing it up. And showing pictures from while Obama was in office. Things have actually changed since then to where the kids are in more of a dorm type environment until they can be placed in some sort of foster care or, housing situation that's more permanent. Or the process is handled quickly and them and their parents are deported. That's what I think should happen, is the families should be deported together very, very quickly. Don't take them away from each other. House them together, even if it's in a cell. They're with their parents, everyone's fed well, and then send them off back to where they came from because they came over here illegally. Give them contact information and ways to come over legally and send them back. If they choose to come over legally, then they choose to. If they don't, then they don't. That's their choice. They have to pay for the consequences. Now, if a child is born here with illegal parents, just like with anything else, ask the parents, do you want the child to stay here in foster care and this, that, and the other, separate from you? Or do you want the child to go back with you because you're going back? Whether you like it or not, you're going back. You choose, does your child stay without you or does the child go back with you? Let them choose. It's their choice. They're the ones who came over illegally. They have to pay the consequences. Now, are they going to just stay with their children, or are they going to say no? If they're lucky enough, the children have grandparents or aunts or uncles that are here legally, and be like, no, I'll leave them with family and let them grow up here. That's perfectly acceptable. They were born here. No, I don't think they should have been born here, but they were born here. So technically they're U.S. citizens, so treat them as such. Give them options, give them choices. But because they're children, it's not their choices, it's their parents. So make them choose. Do the children stay here without you, or do the children go with you? It's up to you. That's more or less the way I see some of that stuff. It's already been nearly 45 minutes. If you have questions for me, if anyone actually sees this, ask. I may try to look at the comments and everything else to respond to some of them. It'd probably be via video again because, well, it's easier. But, yeah, I mean, that's me in a nutshell. Treat people with dignity and respect. I mean, that includes illegal immigrants. But do something to prevent it. You know? You made a choice, you have to deal with the consequences. Plain and simple. Same as I would. You know, if I went and sped and got a ticket, well, good luck. Guess what? I have to pay a ticket. You know, if I don't pay it in time, I get a warrant. I lose my license. I got to pay a bunch of other stuff. I got to go to jail. I broke the law. I have to pay the consequences. I mean, just like anybody else does. That's another thing I believe in is accountability. Personal accountability. Your life is directly representative of your choices. If you make bad choices, you tend to have a bad life. You make good choices, you tend to have a good life. Now, there are outside forces that stuff happens sometimes. But generally, if you make good choices, you live a good life. Plain and simple. Personal responsibility is a big thing. It is a big deal. I wish more people had it. I wish these children didn't grow up thinking that it's everyone else's responsibility to make them happy, because it's not. It's really not. So, anyway, peace.